Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Welcome to our CyberWatch series for August. We will start in 3 minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our CyberWatch series for August. It's a multi-webinar series, as you know, where we explore the latest developments in the world of cybersecurity. In today's session, again, we will delve into the top 10 cyber incidents that occurred in the past month and discuss their impact on organizations and individuals alike. As technology continues to evolve and become more sophisticated, so the threats we face online also evolving, and it's essential to stay informed and aware of the latest cybersecurity risks and trends to protect ourselves and our businesses from potential harm. We will analyze each incident, discuss its implications, and provide practical advice on how to safeguard against similar threats. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business owner, or simply someone interested in staying up to date with the latest trends, this webinar is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the world of cybersecurity together. There was a good one. Thanks for the invitation. Greetings from the Chile. Thank you, Rodrigo. So we were planning to invite a guest for this webinar and open it for each and every one of you. So you can, instead of texting, you can talk, but due to some technical problems, this couldn't happen in August, but hopefully in September, we can do that. We are also planning to add a Kahoot to this CyberWatch series. We can give you some presents to our listeners, attendees. So this all can be ready for the September webinar, hopefully. So let's get started. I want to start with the new Yaşama ransomware variant. Yaşama first described by the BlackBerry Research and Intelligence team in May 2022. It is a rebranded version of another ransomware strain called Chaos. Maybe you heard of the Chaos before. So it is a new version of the Chaos. A month prior to its emergence, the Chaos ransomware builder was leaked in the wild. The threat actor uses an uncommon technique to deliver the ransomware note. Instead of embedding the ransomware note string in the binary, they download the ransomware note from the actor-controlled GitHub repository by executing an embedded batch file. So this is a new trend I want to share with you. Instead of sending the ransomware note, like your computer is encrypted, if you want to get your key, you have to pay this much money, that kind of note. So threat actors, instead of using something else, they use GitHub repositories now. So Yaşama ransomware is one of the first. They use the GitHub repository for this kind of technique. That's why I found this interesting. I wanted to share with you. This modification evades the endpoint detection solutions. That's why they want to use the GitHub repository and antivirus software, which usually detect the embedded ransomware note string in the binary. So since the EDR solutions, they can detect the this strings, this notes, they start to use the GitHub repository to bypass the EDR solutions. Threat actors begin to use GitHub for ransomware. So far, we analyze Yaşama ransomware, and the other one is and there was another ransomware group. They use also Big Hat, I guess. The other one, we mentioned the Big Hat ransomware in the last CyberWatch series, if you remember. So this both ransomware, they use the GitHub repository. We believe more threat actors, they begin to use the GitHub repository for the to deliver this ransomware note. Notable aspect of the ransomware note is it is resemblance to well-known WannaCry ransomware, possibly done so in the attempt to obscure the threat actor's identity and confuse attribution efforts. While the note mentions a wallet address to which the payment is to be made, it doesn't specify the amount, and an unknown threat actor is using the variant of the Yaşama ransomware to target the various entities in the English-speaking countries, especially. So that's why it's a little important, at least since June 4, 2023. Ransomware builders usually have a user interface that allows user to choose the underlying features and customize the configuration to build a new ransomware binary executable without exposing the source code or need a compiler installed. The availability of such builders allows the novice actors to generate their own customized ransomware variants. So again, this is a new technique used by the threat actors using the GitHub to deliver the ransomware note. I want to mention Evil Proxy Phishing Kit. It has been, there's a dramatic increase using Evil Proxy Phishing Kit. That's why it is important. Threat actors are increasingly using the phishing as a service toolkit, dubbed Evil Proxy, to pull off account takeover attacks aimed to high-ranking executives at prominent companies, especially C-level, are targets by this Evil Proxy Phishing Kit. An ongoing hybrid campaign has leveraged the service to target thousands of Microsoft 365 user accounts, sending approximately 120,000 phishing emails to hundreds of organizations worldwide between March and July 2023. Nearly 39% of the hundreds of compromised users are said to be C-level executives, including CEOs 9% and CFOs 70% are targeted by this phishing kit. The attacks have also singled out personnel with access to financial assets or sensitive information. At least 35% of all compromised users had additional account protections enabled. That means multi-factor authentication most of the time. So with Evil Proxy Phishing Kit, it is possible to bypass the multi-factor authentication. The campaigns are seen as a response to the increased adaptation of the multi-factor authentication in enterprises, prompting threat actors to evolve their tactics to bypass the new security layers by incorporating advisory in the middle. We call it ATEM. Phishing kits to siphon credentials, session cookies, and one-time passwords. Attackers use new advanced automation to accurately determine in real time whether a phished user is a high-level profile and immediately obtain access to the account while ignoring less lucrative phishing profiles. So their main target is C-level and up, not other positions much. Evil Proxy has the ability to compromise user accounts associated with the Apple iCloud, Facebook, GoDaddy, GitHub, Google, Dropbox, Instagram, Microsoft, MPA, PIP, RobbieGems, Twitter, Yahoo, and Yandex, and among others. This phishing kit is sold on the dark web for the subscription for $400 monthly, and it can climb up to the $600 monthly for Google accounts. Phishing as a service toolkits are as an evolution of the cybercrime economy. As you know, we mentioned many other phishing kits before in our previous webinars, lowering the barrier for cyber criminals with the lower technical skills to carry out sophisticated phishing attacks at the scale in seamless and cost-effective manner. When we say cost-effective, as you can see, it is just $400 per month for the accounts which involve almost everything: Apple, iCloud, Facebook, GoDaddy, GitHub, all. So the last wave of the attacks commenced with the phishing emails that masquerade a trusted service like Adobe and DocuSign to trick recipients into the clicking on malicious URLs that activate a multi-stage redirection chain to take them to the lookalike Microsoft 365 login page, which function as a reserve proxy to stealthily capture the information entered in the form. But in curious twist, the attacks deliberately skip user traffic originating from Turkish IP addresses by redirecting them to the legitimate websites, indicating that the campaign operators could be based on out of the country. Successful account takeover is followed by the threat actor taking steps to cement their foothold in the organization's cloud environment by adding their own multi-factor authentication method, such as two-factor authenticator app, so to obtain persistent remote access and conduct lateral movement and malware proliferation. So you can even implement your own multi-factor authentication to the system. The access is further monetized to either conduct financial fraud, exfiltrate confidential data, or sell the compromised user accounts to the other account attackers. I'd like to mention one of the exploitation toolkit called Merlin. This toolkit is begun to use a lot by the threat actors recently, especially in July. There's a huge wave of attacks targeting organizations using Merlin. This Merlin post-exploitation toolkit is an open source and a command and control framework. Merlin is a Go-based cross-platform post-exploitation toolkit. It's available free for everyone. You can find it on the GitHub, offering extensive documentation for security professionals to use it in the red team exercises, especially. It offers a wide range of features, allowing red teamers and attackers to obtain foothold on a compromised network. So you may ask, like, what kind of features this Merlin has? This Merlin can support for HTTP 1.1 over TLS and HTTP 3, HTTP 2 over QUIC for C2 communication. It also has ISA key rep RFC 303.94 for agent traffic encryption. It has also FAQ, asymmetric password authentication key exchange, and encrypted JWT for secure user authentication. This Merlin can also support create threat create remote thread, RTL create user thread, and crew user APS shell code execution techniques. Domain also, it's domain fountain for bypassing network filtering. Also, it can be integrated donut, SRDI, and short-gen support. It is dynamic change in the agent JA3 hash and C2 traffic message padding for evading detection. This Merlin post-exploitation use an email for initial access. The email carry a CHM file attachments that, if open, execute the JavaScript code, which in turns run a PowerShell script that fetches, decrypts, and decompresses the gzip archive that contains the executable ctlhost.exe. If the recipient runs the executable, their computer gets infected by Merlin agents, giving the threat actor accesses their machine data and a foothold to move literally in the network. So there's a one threat actor, Rhyssedia. I don't know how to pronounce it. I guess it is Rhyssedia. This Rhyssedia ransomware, they also one of the ransomware as a service platform group that emerged at the end of the May 2023. Despite being a newcomer, the group has quickly established itself as a significant ransomware operation. Their first high-profile attack was Chilean army. We mentioned this about in the last webinar, if you guys remember. The Chilean army, not last CyberWatch series, but there was a one webinar about the ransomwares, like what happened in the first half of the year. And we mentioned about the Chilean army's ransomware hack. So there was a Rhyssedia behind this hack. And on June 15, 2030, the group leaked files stolen from the Chilean army, which turned the group as a claim as true. So Rhyssedia is developed in multiple ways. Primarily, methods include deploying via Cobalt Strike. As you know, the Cobalt Strike is a penetration testing tool often misused by the threat actors for its advanced exploitation and post-exploitation capabilities. Or phishing campaign. This suggests that the Rhyssedia targets could potentially span a wide range of sectors and industries, as these attacks methods are not specific to any particular type of organization. Rhyssedia ransomware notes are written as PDF documents to affected folders on target drivers. This could potentially provide some insight into the types of system or networks that Rhyssedia targets, as the presence of this ransomware nodes could indicate that the targeted systems have the capability to handle PDF documents. This indicates that the group is not targeting command line operating system used on the network devices or services. The group threatens victims with public distribution of the exfiltrated data, bringing them then in line with the modern-day multi-extortion groups. Rhyssedia can be appended to the list of the groups that follow the double extortion strategy. Rhyssedia ransomware group they use is a 64-bit portable executable Windows cryptographic ransomware application, which is compiled with the MingGV GCC. A sample analyzed by the researchers suggested that the tool is in the early stage developed because of the application program's name is set to Rhyssedia 0.1. When Rhyssedia runs, we observe a process of getting output from the command line, which apparently scans the files, runs the file to encrypt function, and if it is successful, changes the file extension to Rhyssedia. For the encryption phase, Rhyssedia uses 40,096-bit RSA key with the Cha-Cha-20 algorithm. And there's also one connection, Rhyssedia ransomware and the Vice Society. I want to mention that too as well. Throughout our analysis, the Rhyssedia ransomware TTPs and infrastructure, we found several similarities to another infamous ransom group, Vice Society. Maybe you guys already heard about the Vice Society, I'm sorry. So, which was observed changing ransomware payloads over time. There is a possible link between Vice Society and Rhyssedia has been recently suggested. And that's what we think as well, because when we take a look, their techniques, tool, and infrastructure, we can say that there's a connection between Rhizobia and the wise society. Many of the techniques described above are highly correlated. The techniques we talked before, previously wise society introduced as described by the Microsoft and the Intersect. Some of them might appear quite generic for the ransomware operators, but were utilized in very specific ways, including specific paths, which are not common by ransomware operators, but specifically used for Rhizobia. That's why we can understand like there's a connection between Rhizobia and wise society. One other thing I like to mention, there was one group, Red Hotel. It is a Chinese sponsored, state-sponsored threat activity group that stands out due to its persistent operational intensity and global reach. Recently, their activities are dramatically increased. That's the other reason I wanted to bring this group to your attention. Red Hotel's operations span 17 countries so far in Asia, Europe, and North America. It targets encompass academia, Eurospace, governments, media, telecommunication, and research sectors. They particularly focus on the South Asia right now. Their government and private companies in some specific sectors, as you mentioned the sectors just a minute ago. Red Hotel's infrastructure for malware command and control, reconnaissance and exploitation points to administration. We believe it's in Chengdu in China. Its methods align with the other contractors group like Chinese Ministry of State Security, MSSS, indicate a nexus of cyber talent and operations in Chengdu. Chengdu is a city in China. Red Hotel is a dual mission of intelligence gathering and economic espionage. It targets both government entities and private sector for traditional intelligence and organizations involved, especially in COVID-19 research. They attacked a lot of organizations who are doing on the research on the COVID-19 when the COVID-19 was an issue in all over the world. Notably, it compromised a U.S. state legislator in 2023, highlighting its expands the reach. Red Hotel employs a multi-tiered infrastructure with a distinct focus on the reconnaissance and long-term network access via command and control service. Since at least 2019, Red Hotel has exemplified the relentless scope and scale of the wider PRC state-sponsored cyber espionage activity by maintaining a high operational tempo and targeting public and private sector organizations globally. They used to focus on the US, but right now they are attacking different countries right now. The group often utilize a mixed offensive security tools, sharp capabilities, and bespoke toolings. This research has done, there's one research done by the Recorded Future in 6 groups. By the way, for each event, you cannot see the details. I can only share as you can see, screenshots from the different sources. As you all know, after just webinar in a couple of days, I prepared a blog post. I put all my resources and all the details, reports, links to my blog and share it in our Discord channel. So you can find all the details in that blog post. So if you're missing anything, if you want to see the details about this incident, don't worry about it. When the blog is ready, I'll put all my resources in there and you can do your own research and see the details. So this Chinese state-sponsored cyber threats with the Red Hotel standing out for its broad scope and intense activity, especially in July. Red Hotel's campaign include innovations such as exploding a stolen code signing and certificate and commanding Vietnamese governance structure. Despite public exposure, Red Hotel's bold approach suggests it will persist in its activities. So in July, we can analyze that Red Hotel's activities are getting much more bolder and much more, how we can say, they're being more active, more aggressive, and they are begin to attack the much more countries, just focusing on the West. So maybe you guys heard of the surveillanceware terminology. If you never heard of it, it could be a new terminology for you. So surveillanceware refers to the software that is designed to monitor and collect data from users' computer, smartphone, or other electronic devices without their consent or knowledge. And this software is often used by the companies or individuals for various purposes, such as tracking online activities, capturing keystrokes, or recording audio and video. Surveillanceware can pose risks and privacy and security, of course, as you can understand, and it enables unauthorized access and potentially allows for misuse or personal information. It is important for individuals to be aware of the presence of such software and take steps to protect their devices and data from potential surveillance threat. I want to talk about the two surveillancewares this month. One of them is Rump SMS Rump Spy and Dragonegg. So those are the two surveillanceware that was highly targets the users in July, especially. Those are developed by the most likely they developed by the Chinese threat actors. What are the notable capabilities of RimSpy and the Dragonegg? The two malware request extensive device permissions while relying on the modules that are downloaded after the apps are installed to enable data exploitation capabilities. So let's take a look at RimSpy capabilities. After it is installed and launched, RimSpy uses known routing tool to gain escalated privileges to device and perform surveillance activities specified by the commands received from the command and control server. These commands include instructing the malware to upload log files, photos stored on the device, and accurate device's location using the biodilocation library. Although we were not able to accurate additional modules from the command and control central instructor at the time of the discovery, we assess with the high confidence that a secondary payload is used by the malware to perform additional surveillance functionality. This is based on the permission that RimSpy obtains but does not use in the code containing in the app, which indicates abilities to exfiltrate additional data such as SMS and audio recordings. The configuration file used by the malware to execute instruction received by the command and control center further support this hypothesis with references to audio recording and the file set to true or false based on the received command. Potential data RimSpy collects is log files, photos, device location, SMS messages, read and write both, audio recording. This is what they collect with the RimSpy. When we take a look at the Dragonegg capabilities, it's just very similar to RimSpy. Dragonegg appears to rely on additional payload to implement the full scale of its surveillance functionality. At the launch, the malware accurates either from C2 infrastructure or bundled with APK, a payload often named small mload.jar, which attempts to accurate and launch additional functionality. Like RimSpy, the Dragonegg samples request extensive permission for services that are not directly exploited in the core app. We suspect that by trojanizing this legitimate chat apps like Telegram, APT41 is trying to remain unsuspicious while requesting access extensive device data. Messaging apps typically request access to sensitive device data, and by hiding its surveillance functionality within a large, fully functional app, the threat actor is better able to remain unsuspicious while the app is running on the device or statistically analyzed by researcher. What are the potential data that Dragonegg collects? Device contacts, SMS messages, external device storage files, device location, audio recording, and camera photos. So I want to mention the Spire threat actor. They're also not new. Most of the threat actors, as you know, we are talking as CyberWatch series, are not new. They have old operations in previous years, but sometimes they do not operate, they do nothing for some period of time, but in some time they been like activated again. They're start their operation, they do a lot of things. So at that time we bring your attention, this threat actor is again activated. It is kind of new to this cyberspace because for a long time they didn't operate. Space Pirates is also another new threat actor. It had been active since 2017. The first ever comprehensive research paper describing the group saw light in the 2022. The Space Pirates group have since stepped up attacks on Russian companies. We have come across the group frequently while investigating cyber attacks in the past year. They have hardly changed their tactics, but what they change is they develop new tools and improve their old ones. So they getting attention recently because of these changes. That's the reason I want to bring to your attention. And the cyber criminals' main goals are still espionage and theft of the confidential information, but the group has expanded its interest and the geographically of its attacks. So over the year, at least 16 organizations have been attacked in Russia and one in Serbia. So they mostly attacked the Russia. So at this point, I want to ask to all attendees, since this group, the Space Pirates group, attacking the organization in Russia, and as you can see, there's a one organization in Serbia. What do you think the origin of this threat actor is? Like, what country? Do you have any guess? I really want to see your opinions. Does anybody have any guess? Since the space pirates are attacking Russia, what is the origin of? Joseph says it's Africa. The origin of this space pirates is Africa. US. Sharifa says it is US. Anybody? Not Africa, not US. Ukraine. China or Ukraine. Yeah, Todd. You got it. Joseph also found it. Yeah, China. You're right, Joseph. Todd, you are also right. The origin of this country is China. And this is very interesting for me. I believe maybe it is interesting for you as well, because the Chinese groups, threat actor groups, or hackers, they don't usually attack the Russian organizations, but right now they do. They are attacking Russia, and aggressively. That's the next thing I was going to tell you. Even North Korean hacker groups, they hacked the Russian missile system, if you guys know. That was interesting for me as well, because I wasn't expecting the North Korean hacker groups that were going to attack Russia, because usually they operate together or they don't attack each other most of the time. But as you can see, things are changing. Like this hacker group probably one of the important APT groups in China. They're attacking to Russia aggressively. I believe that the overlaps between various Chinese APT groups are due to the tool exchange and common phenomenon for hackers in the region, and using shared tools further obstacles the traces of distinct threat groups and makes the work of analysts a lot harder. Space Pirates has also been deploying their custom malware on some Chinese firms for financial gains. So the threat groups might have dual function. As you can see, not just Russia, this Space Pirates also attacking some organizations in China. I don't know why they are attacking these organizations. It cannot be just financial gains. There could be some other reasons. If this Space Pirates working for the Chinese government, if they want to punish some organizations in China, maybe they can use this group. The other interesting thing is, as you can see, this hacker group from China, they're also attacking some organizations in China. Chinese hackers have been, this is very interesting. That's what I want to share with you. Chinese hackers have been very aggressively do operations against the Russian targets lately. And again, this is very interesting for me because I believe China wasn't strong before in the cyberspace, but right now, as we can see, their capabilities are very high, so they can even attack Russia. That was interesting. So there is some dangerous password attacks on Windows, Mac OS, and Linuxes. I'd like to talk a little bit about this as well. Attacks in a Windows environment originating from Python malware. The attackers prepared file called builder.py, one of the Python module. This is available also on the GitHub. If you guys wonder about this code, also I'm going to share the source with you on my blog. For handling QR codes and insert malicious code into it and distributes it to the targets in the same way, in some way. The target is then unaware of the malicious code and can download and infect additional malware by executing that file. As you can see on the screen, that shows the attack flow in the Windows environment. When the Python malware is executed, it is simple downloader malware that downloads and executes the MSI files from that external sources. This dangerous password attacks also affect the Linux and Mac OS systems. In Mac OS and Linux environment, this string is decoded, saved as a file called log.tmp, and then executed as a Python file. The user ID and OS environment information generated based on the random values are sent to the command and control server every minute. After that, it decodes to the data received from the C2 server with base 64 and save it as a file named tmp.py and execute it as a Python file. It is characterized by the fact that there are Git related things in a request and response string. There is one new campaign, call it SMUX. The campaign uses the new delivery methods to deploy the most notably HTML smuggling. You guys already know the HTML smuggling. What is HTML smuggling is, I guess. It's a new variant of the plugx and implements commonly associated with the wide variety of Chinese threat actors. Again, there's a Chinese threat actors behind this campaign. Although the payload itself remains similar to the one found in the older plugx variant, it delivers methods results in the low detection rates, which until recently helped the campaign fly under the radar. This research, by the way, done by the Checkpoint. I'll share the link in my blog again. You can find all the IOCs and the hashes in my reference. So what is this HTML smuggling? We can do short overview for HTML smuggling just to understand. It is a malicious files are embedded within the HTML documents, enabling them to evade network-based detection measures. The way HTML smuggling is utilized in the SmugX campaign that results in the download and either JavaScript or a zip file. Opening those malicious HTML documents results in the following chain of events. First, the embedded payload with the code is decoded and saved to the JavaScript blob, specifying the appropriate file such as application/zip. Instead of utilizing the HTML element, the JavaScript code dynamically creates it, and a URL object is created from the blob using the create object URL function, and the download attribute is a set with the desired file name. Finally, the code evokes the click action, which simulates the user clicking on the link and initiates the file download. For older browser version, the code employs MS save or open blob to save the blob with the desired file name. You can see on the screen the sophisticated HTML smuggling implementation. Also, I'm going to share the details for this campaign on my blog post. As you can see, we cannot go the details much in here in 1 hour. I think this is the last one for this. Yes, using the malvertising as an entry point. This is also one of the new technique I want to share with you, because most of the time we think malvertising is not dangerous like other malwares, like because we think malvertising is just collecting information or how we spend our money, and so the advertisements from the big companies like Google can send us the right advertisement to us. But right now, hackers and the black hat hackers, especially not hackers, not all hackers are bad. Thanks God there is a good hackers as well with the white hat. But black hat hackers, they're begin to use malvertising as entry point. So that's why it is important. We found that the malicious actors use malvertising to distribute malware via cloned web pages of legitimate organizations. The distribution involved a web page of the well-known application WinSCP, an open source Windows application for the file transfer. We were able to identify that this activity led to a black cat, also known as ALP-HV infection, and actors also use Spyboy, a terminator that tampers with protection provided by agents. Advertising platforms like Google Ads enable businesses to display advertisements to target audience to boost the traffic and increase sales. Malware distribution abuse the same functionality in a technique known as a malvertising, where choosing keywords are hijacked to display malicious ads that lure unsuspected search engine users into downloading certain types of malware. On the chart on the screen, you can see represents how infection starts. Again, of course, just from this chart, you cannot maybe understand how it starts, how it goes, but you can find the details on the blog. The infection starts once the user searches for the WinSCP download on the Bing search engine. A malicious ad for the WinSCP application is displayed above the organic search results. The ad leads to a suspicious website containing a tutorial on how to use WinSCP for automating file transfer. From this first page, the user is then redirected to a clone download web page of the WinCP. It is winsccp.com. So as you know, it's a squat typing. They just put extra letter to the domain and make it look like legitimate. So that's what they did. They use winsccp.com domain. When the user selects the download button, an ISO file is downloaded from an affected WordPress web page, and then XSPC event drdevelik.com. They use that domain for the next step. Recently, the malicious actor changed their final stage payload URL to the file sharing service for share. The overall infection flow involves delivering the initial loader, fetching the bot core, and ultimately dropping the payload, typically a backdoor. In a summary, the malicious actor uses the following malvertised infection chain. A user searches for an application by entering search term in a search bar, such as Google or Bing. In this example, the user wants to download the WinSCP application and enters the search term WinSCP download on the Bing search bar. Above the organic search results, the user finds a malvertisements for the WinCPH application that leads to the malicious website. And once the user selects the download button, this begins to download an ISO file to their system. So this is how they use malvertising as an entry point. In our previous webinars, if you guys remember, they even used the Google Ads, like they try to use the malicious domains to put them paying the Google money, so their link can appear on the top of the Google searches. So this is how black hat hackers try to use everything to get into your system or your computer. So this is all from my side. The guys who always join this webinar already know about our community, but maybe there are some newcomers to our this webinar. We try to establish as a community. There's two community pages. One of them is this Discord. The other one is a LinkedIn. I can share the link with you. You are always welcome to join there, share information, ask questions. We try to build a cyber threat intelligence community. I can share it with you. Thank you for joining me today's webinar on the latest developments on the cybersecurity. It was a pleasure to share my knowledge and insight with such a engaged and sophisticated audience. I hope you find it useful. Again, we are trying to change the structure of this webinar. We want to give you more attraction, like you can join the webinar. Instead of texting, you can talk. We want to put Kahoot to our webinar and give some rewards to our attendees. Also, we want to invite some guests like CISOs or cybersecurity experts who are well known in the world to our webinar to make it much better webinars for you, much useful, much informative webinars. Again, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, I can try to answer. Thank you. How can we get the record? I would like to review it later. Salih, we have Discord channel for that. I'll share the link with you. Let me stop the share. Okay, where's the invite people? This is the link for our Discord channel. If you can join us in there, I'm going to share my blog. I'm going to share the recap of this webinar. Also, the presentation. You can find a lot of useful information in that Discord channel. Thank you so much for all I saw in LinkedIn. Yeah, so they are both US guys. Some final with the US at now attack US government. So yes, share it, please. So thank you so much. Michaelio, Raul, thank you so much. Garrett, thank you. Mihail, you're always here. Thank you so much. David, thank you so much. You're always here as well. Maria, thanks. Mohammed, thank you so much. You always join us as well. Jonathan, Yamalia, thank you so much. Fernando, thank you. Joseph, link for the blog. The blog is not ready yet, Joseph. I prepared the blog just after the webinar. When it is ready, I'm going to share it on the Discord. It can be ready tomorrow or other day. Serhan, thank you so much for your help. This webinar is prepared with me with the help of the Serhan Eraslan. Thank you, Serhan. Link for the blog. Thank you so much. Olgerta, Walter, thank you so much. Sharif, thank you very much. It's kind of you. Joseph, thank you. Uğur, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, guys, thank you so much. There's no question, I guess. You guys have a good day. Take care of yourself and stay safe.